150K, so he's done reasonably well. We have a couple shorter stacks here, but everybody more or less pretty deep stacked. Let's go down to Joel to get the cards in the air. Whenever Joel is ready.
So while we wait for Joel, 5-handed table.
I was
here.
too fast, Kevin Martin. Yeah. Joel is not ready for us yet.
He'll be there right away.
He'll be there in a second.
Joel's a legend. 5-handed table. As we can see, we have a couple shorter stacks here, not quite as deep as the last one, but Ong and Lee with the majority of the chips. So it can be interesting to see whether they battle. Are you familiar with, I mean, we know Mr. Salter, but I'm unfamiliar with the other 4 players.
No, I'm not familiar with any of the other players. We'll have to look up a little bit here once the play is underway.
Again, we went, as soon as we had 36 players, the whole tournament went 6-handed. And so this one's going to be 5-handed. I love it. I love it, love it, love it. 9-handed poker, 10. Some of the events I've played recently went 10-handed. And
10-handed poker is brutality.
I love poker, but 10-handed
the Aussie Millions Poker Championship main event. We began with a field of 822 players, the biggest field in the event's history, and we started day 4 with 38 players remaining. Now just 26 remain in the hunt of securing a seat at the 7-handed final table. That is where play will end tonight. As we begin level 21, our blinds are 10,000, 20,000. Our ante is 3,000. Dealers in the main event, shuffle up and deal.
Joel the legend. Here we go. 5-handed. Look at all the space.
It's so roomy.
Here we go. Ong, 1.2 million is going to kick us off. It's crazy. He's under the gun, but that's the hijack.
Yeah.
So
this is a street fight of a poker game here, 5-handed. Interested to see how these guys play. Like you said, I'm not really familiar with anybody except for Jack Salter.
I kind of like that. I like having, the recognizables in there, but sometimes just having, a random, maybe they're a super sicko and they're just not that well known and they're coming up. So I always like having a random table selection. And we're playing, blinds just went up, new level, 10,000 small blind, 20,000 big blind. So Ong raises up ace-5 here to just more than a min-raise. And raise and take it.
QB4 Troll says, I suspect that Aussie is Norwegian, so the name is O with a line through it. It's to be pronounced Oistby. Oistby? Tell me, my Norwegian friends. Correct me.
No big blind ante. No big blind ante. I think a lot of the other events at the Crown have been big blind ante, but the main event, old school regular ante.
Classic ante here.
It's been pretty fast though. Players have been on top of it. Plus, we're playing 5 or 6-handed, so it's slightly easier.
Going fast here.
Yep.
Still just the 3 chips in play. Those blue 1K chips, the yellow 5K chips, and then the brown 25K chips. So we're looking straight ahead at, I believe that's Gyeongbyong Lee. Perhaps. Actually, there may be Ong. We'll have to double check here. When we see a full hand go through, then we'll know who is who exactly. Actually, yes, I am wrong. That is Ding Shang Ong.
20,000.
It's tough when you don't know who the players are. Then you haven't seen until you see the name next to the thumbnail.
Salter is playing a 22 big blind stack. Basically means you're going to be doing less raising, a little bit more reshoving.
It's the stack that he started the day with, so nice to see him navigate along, find good pre-flop shove spots.
Heads up.
Yeah, that was a big pot to me. Actually, like he floated on the
Let's see a button versus small blind battle. Lee on the button. Raise the ace-6. Ace jack and small blind just calls.
Yeah.
Neither player hitting this flop massively.
That flop when I continued and he had queen
That's
9
25,000,
I don't know what he's doing.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, queen 10 or something like that.
He does
I
continuation bet and Lotsby quickly calls, playing very quickly here.
I do love that pace of play here at the Aussie Millions.
So Lee, he took a shot on the flop. He's improved to an open ender. Does he want to fire another barrel here? And he does. It's going to take the job done. Nice double barrel by Lee there. Really good stuff.
Yeah, they will do it. It's just not on for 3 hours. They said there was some kind
Where's
of delay.
Vajiram? You're talking about our main event champion from a couple of years ago. That was his first ever cash. He won the Aussie Millions. How boss would it be if he just won cash, won the Aussie Millions?
Thanks,
See you
poker.
later.
Thanks, poker.
See you, poker.
Thanks
Been fun.
Thanks for the money.
Just snap retirement. The boss move that would be.
Yeah, not really sure what he's been up to since then. I would love to know.
Scott Vajiram. He had that crazy hero call against Ben Heath to win the whole thing. Ben Heath, another player that has been dominating the live poker scene.
So Jack Salter just 6 days ago got 7th in the Aussie Millions 25K for 117,000 Aussie dollars. He's from London with 7.5 million in total live earnings, 1.5 million his largest cash. Third in the all-time money list from the UK.
20,000.
He has 2 million chips.
Race 45,000.
Got a race here from Ostby. Let me know, my Norwegian friends, if I'm nailing that pronunciation. Ostby.
Otsby.
Are you sure?
Nope.
Okay,
Definitely not sure.
Okay. I was like, okay, I'm going to copy. Okay, yeah. A very international feature table once again. Gyong Lee from Korea. Bjorn Oxby, originally from Norway and now from Australia. Lives in Perth, from what I have heard.
135,000. 135,000.
Ong from Singapore. Greg Heaver from Melbourne. And Jack Salter from London. We don't know the hand of Ong here.
It's going to get the job done, though.
So it's going to win.
It's tough to know exactly. You could have a wide range there. We could say 10s through aces, ace, king, ace, queen. Could be mixing in once in a while with a hand like, queen 9 suited. It's a good spot to light 3-bet when the button opens. We'll never know.
Steph for Life wants to come hang out with us at a Run It Up event. There'll be some for you next year once you turn 21. Probably. 26 players remain here in our $10,000 buy-in main event. 19 more eliminations to go before we make that final table.
Looking at my Twitter feed here, David Tuckman says, I'll be watching the Aussie Millions.
20,000.
Nice.
David Tuckman,
One of
also
the best in the biz.
Kevin Mathers gave us a shout out as well.
Awesome. Kev Math, another one of the best.
Quick shout out to very famous poker writer Lance Bradley as well, tuning in. So we got some people watching.
Lance just wrote a great poker book last year. I think he interviewed 50 poker players and asked them what made them successful. How did they succeed in the game? I was one of the 50. And yeah, I haven't had a chance to read the other people's stories yet, but it's a pretty cool thing, right? A pretty cool idea.
Three of the most important poker follows on Twitter.
I agree. Stubbis says the O is pronounced similarly to the U in burn or the EA in learn. All right, Kevin, now you know.
Thanks.
Nail it from here. Okay, it's Ostby.
Mr. Heaver here with the ace-10 offsuit. So Ong raises the button.
Raised to
The small blind in a spot where they only have 32 big blinds, but they are going to leverage a 3-bet here to 125,000. And I really love this. This is a good play against Ong, who's going to be raising the button very, very wide. This looks incredibly strong.
Good morning, Scott Goodall from all the way from Isle of Man.
700.
Good morning.
Oh, Mr. Scott. So we're in a spot with ace-3 that all options feel bad. Option 1, fold. That feels really bad because this is a pretty strong hand on the button. Option 2, call. Oh, that doesn't feel great either. Option 3, shove. That, I mean, this is a spot where all three are very not appetizing.
Yeah, this is a tough spot, especially with these awkward stack sizes, because I think if Heaver had $1 million plus, we could just call and feel fine about it. Ricky, what do you think?
I think shove is the fun option to do here.
Yep.
We would all love to see him shove.
Wow, that's not a call that he's chopped out here.
Raise.
Wow, this is a boss 4-bet.
I don't think anybody said 4-bet as an option, by the way. I think we hit everyone except for the one that Ong actually did.
It's such an awkward size to 4-bet to because you're committing half of your opponent's stack.
Yeah, Heaver has to give it up.
Wow,
I
nice
listed 3
play.
options, and somehow he did something that wasn't those 3 options.
Okay.
And Ong.
Nice hand from Ong there, really showing, and that's how you get 1.5 million chips, just put the pressure on. And you guys agree, what else can Heaver do? Like, everybody played their hand well, just somehow. Ong found the 4th option.
Come back with you, Jack.
Nice hand
Wow.
from our player from Singapore.
Nice hand, bro.
Huh?
A nice hand, bro.
Yeah, nice hand too, but
Oh, his English is
Good enough
perfect.
to true bet, bad enough to call.
Huh?
Bet enough to fold.
yeah, I know.
Like something like a ace jack or something.
Something like that, yeah.
Oh, nice read. Yeah, an ace jack or something, yeah.
Just so I can just put it on the line. 20,000.
Fold.
Folds.
Action folds around here to Greg Heaver.
$26 big blinds on the button.
We can just start with the min raise here.
I agree.
I think that's a reasonable starting point.
Do you know what? The new fancy kids these days
50,000,
are working on, they do a lot of limps at the stack depth on the button. A lot of limps.
I don't think that's what we're doing here with ace-7 offsuit, though. Ricky, as the young kid of the group here, you're not limping ace-7 offsuit on the button, are you?
This is one of the candidates that I would still choose to min raise with.
Nice.
Just, throwing it out in the universe there.
Flipping definitely
Love
an
the-
option that a lot of players are employing now.
Like, if we had 7-8 suited, sure, I'm okay. Call if you really want. But,
Folds. 50,000.
action now on to Kyung Lee.
Nice defendable hand here.
He does call it.
There are a lot of spots in poker where
Hands up.
any option you choose is going to be fairly close in the amount of chips that you're going to win. So it really depends on how you construct your overall strategy around it.
Right, you are, Ricky, and we're going to see some action here. We're going to see a bet and likely a shove. I mean, we flop top pair, top kicker with ace-7, and Lee smashed at this flop as well with an open-ended straight draw and 2 overs.
80,000.
So
Bets
I could see the
80,000,
money going in
80,000.
here because stacks are not that deep.
Yeah, only 20 big blinds here, having made the 80K bet. The 4 straight and a 3 flush. Oh, nope, just a quick check call. I mean, if a 5 comes off, Heaver's not going to really be thrilled about it. Diamond comes off, and wow, look at those outs. We can barely fit it inside the window.
It's half the deck.
It's a rare situation when on the turn we're basically 50-50 with 9 high.
Lee gets a shot at these 18 outs and misses.
I don't think Lee's going to bluff here on this river. This is definitely a card that connects with Heaver.
Yeah.
He does just give up and check.
I think you have to bluff in this spot, though. You ended up on the river with 9 high. You have no showdown value.
Bets 120.
Your opponent
120,000.
doesn't always have to have an ace in this spot. Not folding just yet.
Seems like, I mean, this would be a 6 pot to check shove the river, but
That would be pretty baller.
yeah, just let it go. I would like it more if the river was, I don't know, a 4,
Yeah.
something like that, you know, or maybe somehow you check and bluff. But
Interesting.
nice hand there.
I thought the money was going to go on the flop. I thought it was going to be a bet, a shove, a call, let's run it. But 9-8 just decided to take the chill route, save himself some chips.
Yeah, his opponent did bet pretty big there on the flop, so I don't hate check calling. But if you do check call, I think once you get to the river with 9 high, it's a spot where you have to bluff.
3,000.
It's interesting, I'll tell you.
Even that river, though?
Yeah.
Yeah, ace on the river, just going to bluff it, even though he has so many aces as played. Bets flop, checks turn, and makes an ace.
Let's say you bet 2x pot on the river. Is your opponent going to be in a happy spot if he just has like ace 10?
No, sure, but you're basically shoving at that point, right? Because he only had about a little more than 2x pot.
Yeah, it's
on
a
the
spot
end.
where you're going to have some small bets, and you can really put your opponent in a tough spot if you throw the money into 2x pot.
No doubt. If he has ace jack there, it's a tough spot to call.
I don't expect my opponent to have too many flushes that check back.
No,
So the
agreed.
best hand he can really have on the river, if I assume that he doesn't check back too many flushes,
Right.
is going to be potentially river 2 pair.
Jason, during your prime, did you ever overbet? I feel like that wasn't a thing.
2x pot overbet, probably no, probably not. I remember when people started doing it, it actually started with Prolog. If you remember Spirit Rock, I think was his name back then. And yes, I remember he started overbetting, and everyone was like, "Whoa, this is crazy!" And just like always, actually, many times in poker, when someone does things like that, everyone's like, "This is so bad," right? People just see it as different and criticize it. But then, 10 years later, a lot of the wizards are doing it, and I think Prolog was just ahead of his time, both in poker and in rapping.
Folds.
Ong,
42,000.
hijack, under the gun. It says under the gun, but remember we're playing 5-handed. This is aggressive though. Definitely setting the tone. 6-4 suited.
Good night, one Mark Maker. Nice to have you with us here tonight. Hope to see you back tomorrow for our 100K.
Otsby, this is one of the best hands he'll find to defend here.
Heads up.
Could also be a candidate to 3-bet, but I like the call.
I don't mind the call out of the big blind.
Yep. Ooh, this is very interesting.
Check.
Ong flops a gut shot.
You would think he would bet here more often than check.
Yeah.
As pre-flop raiser.
Continue
That's
to
45,000,
put aggression on.
45,000.
And Otsby, with 2 overs and the backdoor flush draw, is going to peel.
Ace high still well in the lead here.
Check. Check.
Let's go check, check. Ooh. There's a cheeky little 6 on the river here.
We're bluffing here for Otsby, right, with ace 10? Yeah,
Yeah, and indeed he
gotta
does.
bluff. You think this will get the 6 to fold. Flush comes in. Otsby has some straights. He's going to have some 2 pairs. He could be value betting a 9. Wow, Ong is thinking about it, though.
No one likes to improve on the river and then fold.
I think this is going to work. I think Ong is not going to find the hero call. Oh, Ong's on a different level. He cut out the chips. Wow, he did it.
Nice call here. And you're not thrilled about that.
Oh, look at that face.
A look of disgust on his face.
That's a savage hero call. My goodness.
Nice hand there by Ong.
It all started with him opening 6-4 suited.
Yep. Nice hand there.
Yeah, and if the table's paying attention, they see that he opened 6-4 suited, and they should adjust their strategy based off of that. I don't understand how he hero calls that river. Like that
No one
is so.
likes to fold when they
That's such a
improve.
sick call though. When big blind defends, calls the flop. Like I can't believe he found a bluff that the 6 was ahead of.
Correctly found it though.
I guess ace 10 of spades. But my goodness, Otsby is just like, what is going on here, man? How did that not work?
Big blinds on even. $20 to go.
Next hand underway. Greg Heaver now, 3 deuce.
Folds.
Gonna let it go.
20,000.
Can I endorse Ong as the champion here? I think he's got a heap of chips. He obviously has confidence.
I want to see Mike Delvecchio versus Bryn Kenny versus Ong, final 3. That would be a battle. Action on Lee now with the 6-4 diamonds.
Lee has 90 big blinds as well.
Raise to 70,000.
All right, so we have a small blind limp. Ong aggressively raises the 7-6 offsuit. Offspeed calls. Pretty decent sized pot going to this flop, blind on blind.
Already 150,000 in the pot. Remember, starting stack was only 30K.
Check.
Sherman 1, we just rotated out Bryn Kenny's featured table. Just watched 90 minutes of him.
That's
We
55,000.
changed the featured tables every level.
Offspeed just checks folds. Interesting. I would have peeled one with 2 overs, backdoor flush draw against the very aggressive Ong, but he
Takes it
decides
down.
to give it up.
What up, Lala 8671? Let's send some love to the casters. Glad you're enjoying
I'm just
the
gonna,
stream.
they're gonna put a new
Thank
play.
you very much. Thank you for being with us, you guys.
Day 1 of 3 here at the Aussie Millions.
Okay, thank you. Can't need my stuff.
Been a very fun broadcast so far.
400.
Just about 3.5 hours in. Gone pretty fast. 2 levels down. Playing down to the final 7 tonight. Still a long ways left to go.
20 to go.
10 and 20,000 other blinds. About an hour and 10 minutes left here of this level.
Haven't heard from Salter yet. Again, he's only on 20 big blinds, so can't be opening as wide as someone like Ong. He has the deuces here. Very tough spot. So you want to maybe open shove, try to pick up the blinds and antes, get it through 4 people. Well, that's
Yeah, it's
20
tough.
bigs is a lot.
Tough 5-handed.
Kevin, you mentioned earlier that you like just folding in these spots with some of the smaller pairs.
Yeah, this is the spot I would have folded the deuces, I think, because open shoving 20 bigs is just a tiny too expensive to only pick up a few chips. Min raising isn't good, and
Fold.
Salter finds the
20,000.
fold. I talked about that earlier. It's a spot, especially
Folds.
at the lower levels of $300 tournaments, $500 tournaments. A common leak is that people overplay deuces, 3s, 4s off of short stacks. I love that open fold with the deuces. What do you think, Jason?
Definitely agree.
Raise to 65,000.
Agree at that
65,000.
laydown. Give me my fishbowl wants to know, can we watch this replay? You can watch the replay on of course, on this channel forever. On RAU Stats will be linked there too. And you never know. Maybe it ends up also on the 24/7 channel.
This man is on fire right now. That is a lot of chips going his way.
Thanks for hanging out with us, a Hollywood guy. See you tomorrow for the $100,000 challenge. Nice to see you, Lord Beerus. Welcome.
How big is us two?
So Salter now on the big blind, falling under 20 big blinds.
$20,000.
Stozy Pokes says, what an all-star commentary cast. Keep up the good stuff, boys.
Folds.
We'll keep casting if you keep watching. Seems like a good deal to me.
Yeah. I don't think Ong is going to fold this on the button from what we've seen. Going to make it 42,000, I bet.
Raise
What up,
to
2-pair Billy?
42,000.
Hope you're doing well. Enjoying his last few days before the Patriots lose the Super Bowl.
Oh. And we got ace here in the small blind.
Nice little hand here for 32 blinds.
A raise.
Oh yeah, he raises. That is a strong raise. Oh, I raise.
We've already seen a pre-flop battle between these two players. On getting the best of it the last time, 4-betting the ace-3.
What do you think about calling in the spot?
20,000.
Because we have a
Raise to
short stack in the big blind
120,000.
as well. Is that an option, or do we have to raise this?
Definitely an option, and a pretty tricky one.
Interesting. I like the size at least. I think 3x is okay. 3 times the raise of Ong. And now, I wonder what Ong will do here.
120.
120.
So I don't quite understand. I think we're just waiting again.
Mr. Salter.
Remember, there is a huge pay jump coming up ahead. $26 to, or 25 to 24 is a huge jump. Goes
Mr.
from
Salter.
everyone right now is guaranteed 41,200. 24th is 61,500 Australian dollars. There's a big jump up ahead. And we don't know exactly where the bubble is right now. Like we know there were 26 players to start this level, but we don't know for sure if there's 25 right now, which may explain Salter's decisions to play a little bit slower here. $20,000 jump though. Yeah, a little. I mean, assuming that Salter is actually just playing slow to try to increase his chances of making that pay jump.
I am very confident that there are 25 players remaining and that he is waiting a
Yeah.
little bit for this pay jump to
It's
happen.
the only thing that really makes sense here.
This is not good.
Yeah, it's obviously not the most entertaining to watch, but understandable given the $20,000 reward for survival. Flusher 2017 says, "What up, Jay Carver, Kevin, and Ricky? Loving the stream from here in New Zealand. Great to have you with us."
Oh no, he's really taking this to the extreme here.
You know, the players are more than welcome to call a clock on their opponent as more or less as soon as a reasonable amount of time has passed.
In this
And-
situation, though, it does look like he might have a decision on his hands. He is off a fairly short stack.
Oh,
he
sure.
just saw a raise and a re-raise. He might very well be thinking about it. We can see his cards, however.
Yeah, his opponents might not realize that that's exactly what's going on. So, as far as he had ace queen offsuit in that spot and just somehow found the fold,
It's like if I told you can wait 30 more seconds to make $20,000, you consider taking a little more time.
Right.
For sure, you can't blame him, but there's a fundamental problem when, wasting time can make money. There's it can't be right. It can't be right. There has to be something to do about, tanking 2 minutes with Jack 6 offsuit.
Some guy said, "What about a shot clock?" Shot clock doesn't help. It helps in that spot where it would basically allow you to stall 30 seconds, and then you start having to you lose one of your resources in time
Yeah, I was
chips.
only thinking between all them
What'd you have?
Gave you a raise.
He wants to know what he had. Yeah, what did you have thinking that long?
Just see you later.
Jack high.
Oh, I had the Jack 6 offsuit.
I wanted to call.
3,000.
Alex MDSN says the stream is awesome.
Only after
Glad
I
you're
tanked that
enjoying
one
it.
again.
Huh?
Only after I tanked
No.
so long ago.
Didn't care.
If you're enjoying the show, let us know at Crown Poker. Use the hashtag Aussie Millions.
Oh, hello? I hit a 120K score. Watched Kmart play a lot and heard him talk about spots.
20,000.
Congratulations, dude. That's awesome.
Thanks for the good Prime Park job too. Lifted research.
Very cool.
20,000.
That is awesome.
Vote. Votes.
I skipped the Borgata main event for the very first time in my career to be here.
Definitely
We
worth
appreciate
it.
it.
Yeah.
20,000.
Back on Salter. So we are on a pay jump, which is definitely inducing the slower play.
90-second call for the players in the PLO at bench 19. 90-second call. Please start heading back to your tables.
Call option.
At the battle of the week, 10x hands. Could be a good spot for Lee to put some pressure on. I mean, it's kind of obvious Salter wants to make the pay jump. It's a good spot to maybe raise some of your trashy hands, and sure enough, he does step out here. Really like this. Not every time. You don't want to raise it every time, but sprinkle it in.
You might be able to do it every time,
You
Kevin.
might be able to do it every time. I mean, sprinkle it in like a nice seasoning salt. Just to...
It puts Salter in such a tough spot here. And if he's going to be limping hands as weak as 10-5 from this stacked up,
16. 16 total. Yeah. 40 on top.
I imagine Salter's just going to take some time and fold pre-flop. He's definitely within his right as a player to take as much time as he wants. And he lays it down.
2, 5, 5.
Twitch chat's a little upset about this, but you got to remember these players are playing for a lot of real money. They're not necessarily playing for your entertainment. They do have their own reasons for doing things. I don't like it either. I wish there was a way where, you know, play could pick up during these pay jumps, but
Kevin, you would give up a $20,000 pay jump for Twitch chat's entertainment, right?
no, I also would take my time. I don't think I'd push it to the extent that Salter has, but I would, you know, I would definitely wait a few more seconds than normal for sure. Absolutely.
Raise to 42,000. 42,000 to call.
Ong here, the most aggressive one at this table currently.
Folds.
In his normal raise size, 42,000. So
42,000.
every hand he's played, 6-4, aces, whatever, he's opened the same size. I really like that. I think that's very important.
Folds. 42,000 call. Folds.
And on the other side of the spectrum, Oddspeed just snap acts. He just makes very quick decisions. Gotta like that for sure. We got the battle of the king queens here.
Actually, we're at the next jump, yeah? Didn't
Tried to pick someone to win this hand. Definitely Ong though. Oh, they both smashed this flop. They're both in love with it. I mean, Oddspeed has the backdoor diamond draw, so you can see it's a 52% chance.
Jump 20
I
grand.
think the money's gonna go in here very, very often though.
Ought to be starting the hand with under 25 big blinds. Wouldn't be surprised to see him check raise here.
Really, I was gonna say, I would check call.
This is one of the stronger hands that you are going to have after defending the big blind. So can definitely check raise for value if you are in Otsby spot.
Turn goes check, check. The backdoor flush does come in. So both players probably think they have the best hand. Otsby's going to value bet. Ong is going to call. And then,
Chop it up.
haha, you play that hand too? Chop it all up.
I'll probably get.
Everybody loves to chop pot.
Lively enough.
familiar with that too?
Yeah, one of the most
I
famous
think
ones
you'll
in
be racing
poker.
with, I don't know. Maybe you have been lively enough.
Oh, I meant lively in banter and stuff.
Yeah, nothing.
If Brim was here,
Ong
or
here.
maybe another
I'm not
guy.
going to endorse anyone, but
That's who you
I know.
I've seen this gentleman for a few days. He's got the chips, he's
Yeah.
got the swagger, he's
He
making some
wasn't.
moves.
He played.
I
Yeah.
like what I see.
Yeah, he played, but he's probably playing the high roller.
I'd like to ham it up, but I'm a bit nervous. Yeah, sorry, I will keep doing that. My apologies again.
We are in a significant 20K ladder.
Instinct one.
It's 2 times the bind. The bind was 10,000
I
Aussie
thought you were
dollars.
Mustafa Kanat. You look a bit the same.
77,500 US dollars.
No, we wouldn't see that.
Oh wait.
So
Who's the
Google
where's the
Earth
button?
figuring out the conversion rate.
Oh, man, that's not a bet, by the way.
Yeah, yeah.
Playing for
That's,
$1.8 million
induced
for
by-
first.
Yeah.
But again, you can't get mad at him for taking some extra time. I mean, it's slightly frustrating, but you know, if you're a tournament professional, a 20K ladder can make a massive difference in how your year goes. But I still don't like it. I still don't like the tanking. Yeah, we got the 4 deuce offsuit.
Folds.
Quick fold, I like that.
20,000. Raise to 50. Call. 50,000.
So Lee has been going with this bigger sizing pre-flop, raising to 2.5x the big blind.
Is the UK home for you? I think you told me that said the other day. But
Yeah,
I kind of like it because he's super deep with the big blind, so I do like the bigger raise size. Got a customer with the king jack and the small blind.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it looks like we're gonna get a new
Yeah.
player at the table.
Yeah, my dad's English. My
So it looks like Salter did get that pay jump.
Yep.
Oh, wow.
I think Lee's gonna bet this board a lot because when the small blind flats, they're not gonna have a 3 very often. Like let's say the big blind defends, the big blind could have a lot of 3s. The small blind, 3's unlikely, but we do see the call here with king jack, just 2 overcards.
King Jack could very well have just shoved pre-flop as well,
60.
Yep.
but electing to
That's
navigate
still better than the other one.
60,000.
this way instead.
Very quick lead here as well, because he's trying to represent, you know, a hand like ace 10,
60,000.
jack 10, queen 10 that's leading.
This is a little surprising though. After
Yeah.
check calling the flop and now leading on the deuce.
You play at the table.
Like, it's so hard for him to have a super strong hand with this line. And I don't know whether Lee has a good hand or maybe he's just seizing the opportunity, but he's looking to raise.
200,000.
Gotta like this from Lee, and that's going to get the job done. And Otsby is left with one of the shorter stacks.
Loses a huge portion of his stack there in that pot.
Okay, sorry. You're watching the hand, I'm sorry.
Yeah. You're true.
Otsby is going to be our short stack with
No, I think I was gonna
16
ask
big
you,
blinds.
you
He's in
don't-
reshove mode now.
No.
And we're going to go to
Zero
6-handed
time.
here as it looks like we do have that pay jump ladder.
Definitely don't speak it.
But the trouble being,
We are in the money.
and
Yes,
growing up in
88
a
people
Western
played.
country where we're all just,
We're at
monolingual.
25 right now.
How about yourself?
We got a redraw at 36.
any
We went
family
6-handed at 36, and we're going to be 6-handed the rest of the way, which I love as a player, as a commentator.
Kazakhstan, that's my wife up there.
And we have one of my favorite players left in this tournament joining our feature table, Michael Adamo.
Oh, yes, Michael
She's not Kazakh, but she's born there.
Okay.
So I think a bit of Russian.
comes in with
That's probably
a
worth watching.
decent sized stack there.
That's probably worth watching.
Yeah, and she likes to play as well. So
Oh,
Fair to
really?
say
Oh,
he
really?
is one of the best players left in this tournament.
on the rest day between days, we went and played at the
What a
pub.
mountain of chips Ong has. Those black chips are 25,000. He has 2 full stacks and
I don't
more.
exactly know what pub poker
Blue
is,
chips,
but
1,000.
It's a league,
Yellow,
yeah. It's like a poker
5,000.
league.
Okay.
And the
Amateur
expensive
poker?
chocolate
For real money,
ones,
though.
25,000
Yeah,
each.
for real money.
Oh yeah.
It's good,
I
huh?
see you
So
much
the
of
pay
a
jump is
pub
over.
guy,
Let's see
you
if
know?
that loosens up
He was
Salter
banned.
here a
He
little
was
bit.
banned from there. It was too good.
So we're back to play here.
Pass.
Folds. 20,000.
All players now guaranteed $61,500, and the next pay jump will be at 18 players
Folds.
to 82,000.
You got any pub poker trophies?
20,000.
actually.
Raise. 50,000.
Nice little 4 days work. A little 60K ball guaranteed. Everybody with their eye on that 1.85 million.
First time I played, I got through
place
800
finals.
field player, won it.
This is our short stack. He's raising the button. You can see 50,000 is already a lot of his stack.
How much is
He's
it?
playing only 16 big blinds. think Heaver would find to defend here with the Jack 7 suited.
Cool. Cool.
Greg Heaver peeling the big blind. And Bjorn, unknown hand, but getting shorter and shorter here.
That's 50-50 to call.
That's going to do it. So some much needed chips. It's going to push them up 19-ish big blinds, 20 big blinds.
Nice
Big
little
difference
healing.
between 16. Oh, we had the ace king on the button.
Yeah, they have a
Nice flop
Yeah.
for him too.
For the state championship.
$100. No, it's not even that.
I guess
If you,
800 people.
if you play a certain amount during the month,
Yeah.
like
So
in the
full
pub,
six-handed table now.
cost anything.
Oh, really? Wow.
You can get an add-on for $25.
3,000 empty.
How much?
3,000. Because he's empty.
Still have those 3 chips in play. No
Yeah,
100k
one
chips
day.
just
Don't
yet.
I like
12
one
hours.
hours anyway. I like it.
But they have
Playing down to
once a year
7
they have
players.
Be hurry. We're going to be covering the day 2 of the $100,000 buy-in challenge tomorrow.
It's called the APL Millionaires,
Some of the-
guaranteed $1 million.
Oops.
$1,000
One
runs,
dropped there.
1,500 blind.
Okay, Ricky.
I am okay.
Yes, and that's a real proper tournament, and it's just full of, the amateurs from the pubs.
20,000.
Well, the pros too go there.
All right, we're good. Yes. We'll be covering this event all the way down to the final table, final 7 tonight. Tomorrow, we'll join you again for the 100K
Raise to
challenge.
50,000. 50,000.
I think it's probably the next one.
And it's one of our big stacks. 100 big blinds. Staying consistency. He's opening to 50,000 every time. Same thing here with the ace king.
Folds. 50,000. Folds. 50,000.
Sick Life 11, who is the tournament director? That would be Joel Williams,
Folds.
longtime Crown employee. Does a great job. What up, Nathan Manuel? Hello. Welcome back.
Nathan, legend.
Our Moneymaker event winner from Run It Up Reno. Just got to hang out with him at the last UFC in Brooklyn. It's awesome. A lot of fun.
So one of our short stacks, Salter, is going to find it and defend. Very important pot for him, more so than Lee, who has heaps.
First time? Really?
Actually,
No improvement here for Gyong Lee.
Like holiday.
Uh-huh.
Holiday and poker.
With
yeah.
your friends or
Yeah, with all my friends.
Salter has some
Yeah,
eights in his range, quite a
guys?
few actually.
these guys here?
No. I'm not sure.
Quick
It's,
check,
okay.
check.
Probably playing some
did he-
Wow,
roulette.
this
Did
board
he
is
play as
so
well?
good for
Yeah,
Salter. I would imagine he's going to bet
Back
this
it
turn
out,
with a
right?
lot of his hands, whether he has a 10,
Probably
8,
a roulette table now.
9, 7, or even if he has a bluff, it's a good spot to take a stab.
Stack is so precious, though. He doesn't want to make a misstep here.
Yeah.
But out of the big blind against the check, it's definitely a scary board.
If Salter check this turn, I'd say it's probably 6-5, 2-4 is something that's trying to get to showdown. When he bets here, he can have a lot of things, but that's going to take care of
That's
business. Don't see
40,000.
Lee calling with just ace king here.
I think you have to call one here getting this price, though. Ace King going to be the best hand pretty often, and
Oh, looky.
very unlikely that you're going to check a hand stronger than this on the flop.
Good read from Ricky.
Check it out.
Now, what will Salter do? His cards are in the reader, so we should be able to see what he has.
All in.
All in.
Over pot.
It's an interesting triangle with the fingers there. I've never seen that before.
I saw Nana Noko do it a couple days ago.
Yeah. Is that binding?
I
If you
think
make,
it is.
If you make a triangle with your hands, it's all in?
I saw him do it, and I was like, oh my goodness, you still do that.
Wow.
Wow, Lee
You didn't even
has
say
the
anything,
snap fold that
though.
he's thinking about the hero. Maybe Salter is Queen Jack, Jack 9. This would be a naughty hero call with Ace King high.
He has the chips to do it.
It's interesting that Salter acted so quickly. I don't know if that was a timing tell, but
Not only a timing tell, but also what's the hand mean? That also would probably throw me off a little bit. Yeah, Telly Dog knows exactly what he's trying to go for there.
I mean, Salter has a 10,
Salter's
An
been
8,
doing it for
a
years.
straight, or a bluff. He's not going to do this with 2 5s, a sit.
Yeah.
This is, and if Ace King is beating the bluffs, you could find a hero here. Maybe this would be naughty.
I had this exact spot against Jack Salter about a year ago, and I did not win the hand when he overbet shoved the river.
We'll see what happens this time. B Roman says, I love the 4-color. Glad you're enjoying the 4-color decks. And right now, with those blue Ace King, Young Lee thinking about it here. From Korea, 60K, his biggest live cash. Already breaking that here in Aussie dollars, at least.
He's thinking about this.
My read is that Jack Salter has a good hand here.
Yeah, I mean, it does make sense, right? He called the big blind, flopped an 8, had 7-9. You know, maybe even has like King 10, something like it. But I don't know if Lee's gonna call. He hasn't even asked for a count. You know what I mean? He's just like thinking about it.
Jack stacked his chips in a way where it's fairly easy to see how much he has behind.
Okay, there's the question that we were waiting for him to ask.
This is not a bad bluff catching candidate, in my opinion. You unblock the hearts that Salter might have, and if Jack had King high or Ace high by the river, I don't see him bluffing with, you know, many Ace highs or King highs. So, fairly good bluff catcher here by Lee.
So Salter bet just over the pot. So for Lee to call this river, does he have the best hand 35% of the time, or 40% of the time?
Yeah, it's definitely close.
The answer is yes. It's a good call.
I'm
candidate.
impressed by Lee's instincts. I mean, like, not many players would even think this long about calling, right or wrong.
In theory, I think it's a pretty good call. My live read is telling me, though, not so much.
Shall see.
I think Salter has it.
I think Lee is going to fold after he thinks about it, but maybe he makes the hero call of the Aussie Millions. There's always some hands that blow our minds, and this might be one of them. Maybe he calls and loses to like pocket 4s or something somehow, but we'll see.
We all want to see the call just to see what Jack has.
We might see either way.
Bring it back. No, don't do it. Don't do it.
He knows he's teasing Twitch chat right now.
Grab chips. Go for the chips.
Not showing whole cards adds suspense. Yeah, we did it just to tease you guys also.
I call?
I think these are all folding. I mean,
Give him 40 more seconds. He's going to say call. Anything less than 40 seconds, he's folding. No.
Let's go.
No.
Let's see the cards. Don't let him muck the hand.
No.
Pull those cards back. Pull those cards back.
Tournament director, get him on there.
Yeah, I thought.
He just has an 8.
Come on. Come on. We need to see. Just tell us. Show us.
Flip it up.
Huh?
All right, just flip him over.
It's not showing?
No, they're just not picking up.
You guys,
Oh,
you
we
guys
need
will
to
then
know what they
show all
have.
the hands if I show.
That means it's a bluff.
Huh?
If it doesn't work, it's
Doesn't have to show it.
Sure.
Oh, no.
Not like this.
Not like this.
Can someone text Jack Salter to ask him what he had?
Okay, I didn't read it for a while.
Yeah, he was trying to show them. It wasn't like he was intentionally trying to disguise his hand or anything. It was just,
Did you want to call?
for some reason, the reader didn't work that hand.
That was a fun hand. I like that one a lot.
Sick hand either way. And yes, of course, we definitely can't be like, yes, now show your cards to the table because the reader's not working. Like, that's not fair.
Nice.
You know, that everybody else is on the delay.
You should just put him in front of the camera for us.
Yeah, that would have been the real play. Be like, I'll show the camera only, and then throw it away.
Lee could have been the hero there. Who knows? This is a player who just moved to the table. Michael, Ricky speaks very highly of him. Doesn't have a ton of chips. 31 big blinds.
Folds. 20,000 folds.
This is a player who's been on a bit of a downward spiral here. He's still alive, just needs to take a deep breath. Still 20 big blinds.
Raise.
Nothing is going Oddspeed's way, though.
50,000. Folds. 50,000.
Looks like there's been a raise. Action over to Salter. Just gonna let it go.
Cool. Heads up.
Lee just flats with the sevens.
Actions on you, check a bet.
Sevens still lead.
Check.
King, queen, suit. Double checks.
Bet's 45,000. 45,000.
45,000.
Cool.
And a bet and a call. Some people would have just folded there at sevens, but he check calls correctly.
Check. Check.
Board pairs on the turn. Check again. Will Ong fire a second bullet here?
Check.
Decides to check. Sevens are in the lead for now. Sevens do hold here till the river. Now will Ong fire a bluff here on the end as played? Nope, goes check check. He does beat Jack 10. I guess that's the hand he beats.
Yeah, I think both players played their hand very well, and the sevens do hold up.
Very reasonable. Nice hand there for Lee. So 24 players remain. Started with 822 contestants. Started today with 38 players.
What's that? Oh, there you go.
It's a sign.
Sign. What do I
Now
got?
down to 24. Playing down to 7 tonight.
You believe in that shit, do you? I got 650. 6-5 suited. I'll join you in the middle.
Oh, yeah.
Michael
Okay,
Adamo.
flip.
3.9 million in total live
I'm
earnings.
guessing it's you.
Almost $1 million, his biggest live
yeah,
cash
got blue
from
jeans.
Australia.
20,000.
One thing I remember from Adamo London is that his very first tournament cash is a $20 tournament buy-in.
Wow.
From a $20 buy-in to now playing some of the highest stakes in the world. The
Yep.
Run It Up dream.
At Crown also, it was a 15 plus 5 with $1,000 guaranteed for first place back in 2012, and he got 8th for 99 smackaroos. And now here we are. That is actually pretty amazing. His first 2 live cashes are both in $20 buy-in tournaments.
One of those guys that has proved that the poker dream, the Run It Up dream is still alive.
For sure.
From playing $20 live tournaments to winning a $25,000 WSOP Europe High Roller.
Pretty insane.
All in.
Yep, that was back in October of 2018. Shipped that for almost $1 million. Right now, Jack Salter all in with the
I
deuces.
love this play from Salter. The open shove, 22 big blinds. I mean, sometimes you run into a big pair and it feels bad, but the old poker math checks out there. That is going to be a profitable shove every time.
Another chip up here for Salter. Just peacefully grinding along. About 30 minutes or so left in this level. And the blinds will go up. We'll go up again to 12 and 24,000.
Exceptionally confident says he remembers grinding 1-2 cash at Crown with Adamo back in the day.
Wow. They got some great cash games over at Crown. I'm not sure if they still run it, but the last time I was there, they had I think it was a 1-2 game, and I think it was a shot clock. I think there was a shot clock on every table, and if you paid $1 into the pot, you got an extended 30 seconds. Like that was how you bought more time.
Interesting.
Yeah, I'd never seen that before. They also had, I'm sure they're not that there anymore, but that was the first time I also ever played on one of those digital poker tables, like a digital live poker table, you know? Hadn't ever seen one of those in person before. That was pretty cool too. They do a lot of cool things at Crown. Some great poker action there.
43.
Raise to 43,000. 43,000 to go.
So ace-6 suited here, good enough for a raise. No takers so far. Over to the big blind.
I like to defend. Obviously, we're dominating this situation, but versus a cutoff raise for just over the minimum, king-6 is going to be a very good defending hand. And that is a wet flop. Salter's not going to enjoy that flop for his a6 of clubs.
Check.
Does have the gutter though to the straight.
It's a nice turn card. Sick Life 11 wants to know, are you a fan of the big blind ante structure? Yeah, we are seeing it more and more widespread. I think players like it. I mean, how do you not generally? Even here at Aussie Millions, many of the events did have it, but not the main event just yet. As many places are. Taking it slowly, rolling it out to some tourneys and then others.
Sneaky check on the turn here by Salter.
This may induce a bluff here, but Bjorn doesn't really have the chips to spare. So he just checks again.
Yeah, don't really want to be bluffing king high here in this spot either. You're going to have a lot of other just random lower hands than king high to want to bluff.
Do you think king high is just basically never going to win here though, as played also?
It is, but you also want to be able to not over bluff in this spot.
Sure.
As Salter can have hands like top pair here.
That is a thud of chips going out there.
I love Salter's mannerisms. They
I
crack me
bet
up.
this many.
But
that's the amount I've been betting. That's it. The 100K challenge tomorrow, for instance, is big blind ante. There you go.
Sorry? I like your betting style.
Or at least so says Twitch chat.
Just plop it down.
What up, Post Flop Poker Podcast? Nice to see you. Annies are up.
I was letting him see the cards too cheap. It was slow playing.
See?
Letting him see the cards too cheap there. It was slow playing. Dangerous game.
Yeah.
Jack Salter, 7.5 million in total live earnings from London, third from the all-time money list from the UK.
Trivia question: who's number one
Sometimes you gotta do
from
it,
the
don't you?
UK?
That would be
Like
Sam Trickett.
I think that's false.
Is it not true?
It just changed last week. Chidwick.
Stephen Chidwick.
Chidwick did it.
Chidwick passed Sam
Wow.
Trickett. Trickett's number 2 now.
Wow. Old news. Not surprised. Stevie has been a crusher for ages, and now even more so than ever.
When you play every 100K, that you
Raise
know,
to 60,000,
it's gonna
60,000.
help.
Yeah, wow. Yeah, I guess that makes sense. Obviously, Sam had been very successful in the, was it the $1 million one drop that he got second in? Yeah, Ricky says yes. Our statistician and poker historian. Yes. I see.
60.
Post Flop Poker Podcast says the 100K is on the table right next to me, so I can say 100% big blind ante. Confirmed. Nice. We got fans on the ground keeping an eye on things over there.
Tough spot for Mike here with the Queen 9 suited. Yeah, your opponent raised 3 times the big blind.
60,000.
So I like the tighter fold there. I think that's a good play.
Agreed. Nice little win there for Greg. These players at this point are about 5 hours into their day. About a third, a little more than a third of the starting field today already eliminated.
Some people say it's cheesy, but I highly recommend when you're 5 days in, stand up, stretch, do a jumping jack. You know, it's so easy to fall in this lazy mode, and then one wrong decision this deep into a tournament could cost you tens of thousands or hundreds of thousands of dollars. So
people don't realize how exhausting any poker tournament can be. It's just like it can be such a grind, especially these multi-day events. You know, there's a lot of decisions you have to make, especially in a tournament like this where it's 6 max and you're constantly thinking, deciding, evaluating, debriefing, going to the next one, taking in information. You know, poker should be an Olympic sport.
Dude, it's
that's where I'm going with this. Poker for the Olympics. Let's make it happen, Twitch chat.
Like, for example, yesterday,
we're all athletes,
I
okay?
suited,
That's what I'm saying.
I played it and I lost the pot. Very next hand, I had the same
what a
cards.
monster for
I
odds.
scored
Raised to
hard, yes,
50,000.
I think that's
This
a
is a
sign.
button raise where you're
I
hoping
didn't
for
try that.
action, and
You
you're
didn't
gonna
try
get some of it.
Oh,
I
I
see
would've
the
got
sign.
quads.
I see the sign the other day. You got a flirt.
Yeah.
Would have got quad.
Interesting
and
that
then later in
Oxby
the
just
day, I got queen.
raises here. I guess on the button it makes
And
sense.
I
50k. Interesting
played them really
size choice versus some min raise.
This is going to get in.
Thought that's got to tell him.
Ong
give
is
me another
electing to
chance.
3-bet. I really like
Got to go
this.
in against kings
And obviously,
and
he's going to
quads.
3-bet
Raised to
versus
200,000.
Otsby. He's 3-bet committing himself,
that?
but
200,000.
I think we're going to be off to the races here. Otsby's not going anywhere.
Yeah, we're gonna see an all-in and a call, I suspect.
All-in. Call.
All-in call. Okay, there you go. Nines against king queen. We have a classic coin flip here. As close as pre-flop equities can get, basically.
I feel like it's Ong's day. I feel like Ong isn't going to miss the king queen here.
I feel
you
like
know?
Ong is like 80% to win this solid. No,
So far.
not yet. Now it's like 50-50. Oh, even better.
Baden is dodging.
I don't even really believe it. It's like, okay, sure, river queen, right? It has to be. No, river 9. Wow.
And for Otsby, much needed double up. You can feel things slipping away, but he's at the 700k now, 35 big blinds.
Yeah, nice double up there for him.
Yeah, first I thought the poker gods were going to punish me. for
Reasonable
playing
play
first
by
queen
both.
Badly,
Yep.
getting in against king, but then they must have thought, give me
There's
a
a
reprieve.
slight
You know what?
dent. Ong wins there. He's over
God,
2 million
I'm all about
chips.
just positive thinking. I'm about that.
Ah, yeah.
We've seen quite a variety of facial expressions from Otsby, mainly in hand
You
against
got your wife
Ong.
doing rooting for
If
you.
you're enjoying the
Yeah,
show,
she's always
use the
telling me
hashtag Aussie Millions on your social media platform of choice.
I'm all about visualizing.
At Crown Poker, if you want to join our next Aussie Millions next year,
The trophy at the end of the day.
you can qualify all year round. There are a ton of great poker events.
Nice one, bud.
And there's also a ton of great poker events here at Run It Up. RunItUp.com, RunItUp.tv, Run It Up on Twitter. We've got Run It Up everywhere. Lots more poker events to come here on our channel. We got
where am
Run
I?
It Up Reno coming up in a couple months. Lots of other cool things in the meantime. Great to have you guys with us all tonight.
3,000.
About 5 hours into our broadcast. Not quite, getting there. And next stand underway. Salter in the big blind.
Big swing there with that flip.
Another one off.
Yeah, if Ong wins that pot, he's going to be a monster with
Yep.
2 million instead. Less of a
20,000.
monster with 1.3 or so.
Folds.
What happened there?
Adamo here with a very playable 8-7 suited.
Raise to 40,000. Folds.
He's going to
40,000.
raise it up. Ong here with King Jack on the button. Certainly a hand he has some options with. Ricky, what do you think about against the stone min raise here?
Both options on the table here.
Definitely playing though.
Yes, for sure.
Cool. 40,000 to call.
He does call.
Folds.
Interesting, Queen 10 doesn't even really think about it. Mucks pretty fast.
Folds.
Kind of a smart fold, I think, actually, with
Mhm.
Queen 10 offsuit there. Like
Out of
in the
position, yeah.
in the small blind, worst position, player behind you that could still squeeze.
Heads up.
And that's a pretty good flop for Adamo.
Straight flush draw.
64% here with no pair.
Check.
Gotta think he's gonna start here with a bet, but no, actually checks.
I was gonna say there's a lot of reasons to check here. Give yourselves a lot of options to check raise.
Ace on the turn. King Jack's got to feel decent about that. And now that it's gone check on the flop, I wonder how Damo approaches this turn card.
I think the time to bet our 8 high is now.
Yeah,
75,000, 80,000. You know, we have some aces in our range. Like we could check ace 2, ace 3, ace 4 on the flop. So we could rep that. plus 10s, jacks, queens, kings we check on the flop. A hand like king 9.
Sure.
So I think it's time to fire. What's the size it's going to go with?
Does look like it's going to be like that 80. No, actually,
large.
big. Looks like he's going to bet around the size of the pot here. Actually, over the size of the pot here. And a quick fold. Interesting line there. Bets 145K into 120,000 or so on the turn. Checks the flop, over bets the turn. That is some next level wizardry.
I did say he's. I'm a big fan of Adamo's game, and this is one of the reasons why. Definitely able to put a lot of pressure on his opponent on that turn there.
Here's a look at the main event payouts, and we are now at that 19 to 24 bracket. Every player still alive in the event guaranteed $61,500. Some big payout jumps coming as we get to our final 3 tables. Another $20,000 jump up ahead, and then it really spikes up from there. 40K jump until we get to the top 12, all the way up to our 1.85 million first place prize. Playing down tonight to the final 7. Nice to have you guys with us here on RunItUp.tv.
Check diamonds exposed, guys.
What was it?
Check diamonds.
Thank you.
20,000.
It's a great opportunity for the fans at home to watch a great player in action and, you know, see some of the things that he does and possibly incorporate it into your very own game.
Definitely there. We've seen a lot of great players play already tonight. It's awesome to see such a diversity also. A very different talent. You know, Bryn plays very differently than Mike Del Vecchio, plays very differently, you know, than Adamo. It's interesting to see.
Kevin's over there taking notes.
Yeah, man. The play's been really good today. It's been very fun. There's been some aggressive lines. I've seen a lot of good stuff so far.
Cool. Option. Check. Heads up. Check diamonds first one. Actually, you check it.
It's a massive flop for Salter. Elise has some aces once in a while, but they're kind of few and far between.
20,000.
This is a limped pot.
King 9 is almost always the best hand here. You know, Lee doesn't have 10s, jacks, queens, because those would raise pre-flop. Once in a while, Lee will have like ace 2 offsuit, ace 3 offsuit, but it's just a massive hand here for Salter.
Lee not just folding here. Looks like he's thinking about continuing with his backdoor flush draw and queen high.
Yeah, I think peeling 1 here for the good price is very acceptable. Your opponent has a wide range. Queen high could be good sometimes, but a lot of great turn cards.
Cool.
The 2019 poker, everyone just calls these small bets. Salter kind of hates this card. Lee has a lot of 4s.
Still probably not going to check fold here.
Yeah, for sure, but he's not as nutted as he was on the flop.
Expect us to go check. Queen high, a little too strong to start bluffing the turn.
Interesting. I guess that makes sense here. And it does indeed go check.
Money.
Oh, hello. Hey, girl.
And this is why you float the queen high on the flop.
Yeah. I don't know either. You can look on like the checks. Yeah.
And Salter's going to check. And you got to think Lee is going to value bet. And indeed, he goes quickly to it.
40,000. 40,000.
Kind of a gross spot for Salter. He pays it off. He's going to be frustrated. Sees his opponent hit 3 outs.
The only card that would have done it. Queen on the river. That hand goes over to Lee. 20 minutes or so left in this level, and we're going to get ourselves a new lineup as we go deeper and deeper into the tournament.
$3,000.
3 chips in play. The blue 1Ks, the yellow 5Ks, and chocolate 25Ks.
He's played pretty well. He's got 100 big blinds, definitely a threat. Played extremely well so far. 822 people entered this Aussie Millions main event, the biggest in Aussie Millions history. It is a freeze out. You lose your first bullet, you're done. Go home. Can't unload the clip in this one, which makes that many entrants even crazier that they got 822.
Raise to 50,000, 50,000.
Something very cool about a freeze out. One buy and that's it kind of event.
50,000.
For sure. And here we go with Aussie with a nice hand with the ace-queen offsuit. Raising it up.
Folds 50,000.
Heaver just folds the suited ace in position.
50. Folds.
Not like shocked given how relatively conservative he has been, but certainly another conservative play on the conservative side. But ace queen chips it up. 700,000 now. Still have a bunch of eliminations left to get through. Long amount of poker still to be played.
At what point do you like what for you personally? Like I don't know, maybe you can say do you
Salter and Heaver chatting a little bit.
What's your
Haven't seen a lot of table talk today.
What is the impact of
I can't tell you my.
Oh, okay, sure.
strategy,
All right,
sorry.
sure.
But I'll tell you that.
Well, what's the what I say in the book?
So
Next hand underway. Young lead from Korea.
20,000.
Going to be on the
I
button.
don't think there's an answer to be honest.
Yeah, sure.
Ong first to
There's
act
no one
from
people
Singapore.
depends, I guess, yeah.
Folds 20,000.
23 players remaining now.
Heaver trying to get a coaching lesson from Salter at the table.
Hey man, do you see any of my leaks? What am I doing wrong?
They don't come cheap these days.
Tight fold with the king jack. He was just he's waiting for his premium hands. Something to be said for that, but we missed a few opportunities to collect chips. I think.
Yeah.
King jack there and the hijack is going to be an open most of the time.
Raise to 43,000.
Salter though, ace 7 good enough for him.
Folds. Cool.
Action over now to the big blind. He's going to defend his king 9 off, and off to the flop we go.
Heads up. Check.
Nice flop here for Bjorn.
I think Salter's usually going to continue on this board a lot, being the pre-flop raiser as he finds the quick check.
Funny, I thought he was going to check actually when you said that, but
So, wow, what a turn card!
oof, that's
Oh my
60,000.
goodness.
60,000.
Salter thinks he's gotten lucky here, but we can see he's gotten very unlucky, making such a reasonable hand. Certainly going to just call here.
Anytime the ace comes on the turn, the big blind decides to lead out into you, alarm bells start to go off.
Yeah, it's like, shouldn't he be worried about me having the ace? Salter does call here, and this pot is getting pretty big. And wow, looks like going to be a very quick 200,
That's 150. 150.
150 on the end here.
Tough spot for Salter.
That's easy for us to say, but
I think he's going to find the fold here.
I think we can find a fold here. It's just such a weird line that the big blind defends and then bets the turn and the river with the spades coming in also. Like, what does he have? He has queen jack offsuit and just decided to go for it.
Definitely an underbluff spot in my opinion.
Be a very impressive laydown though, just to hold the a7 once you turn it.
Definitely a tough spot. Don't mind him thinking about it here. Reasonable time to take the glasses off.
This is a confrontation between the most deliberate player that we've seen on our table so far and the player who acts the quickest.
Yeah, like let's go through the value hands that Osby could have that, you know, Jack is beating. Very few, like ace 3, ace 6.
Even ace
It's
3.
unlikely that those would quickly bet twice.
Whoa, that is
with
a
size.
deep zoom. Yeah, ace-3. I'm not even sure ace-3 would lead here on the turn. Ace-3 might still just check.
It's not going to bet king-queen twice like this. So we really are kind of only beating bluffs. And like Ricky said, this is a very under-bluff spot. This would be a great fold here. One that a lot of players are not capable of making, but I'd be very impressed. You think he's going to find the fold, Ricky?
I think he is. He's going to have... He's already sensing that this is a spot that it's fairly underbluffed and definitely experienced enough to know that.
Only a player with 7.5 million in total lifetime earnings would really be able to, I mean, this is a tough spot to fold. I think most people would just pay, but Bjorn's line here.
You bluff me?
Sorry.
No, euro.
I got a spade, so hard to believe the flush.
First like mid-hand table chat we've had all day. Saying because he has a spade, he thinks it's obviously less likely that his opponent has a flush. But he still could have ace deuce, ace nine, king nine, king deuce, nine deuce suited maybe. Flushes make sense.
Man, if I call queen high, I'll look so fucking dumb.
Damn. Okay, it's fair. Yeah, of course it is.
Bjorn pretty stoic, not really giving away a ton.
How stupid was that gonna look? Just pay you queen jack.
Salter trying to get a read from his opponent, claiming that he has queen high trying to make the call.
Oh, you could have jack 10 though. Not having a queen jack or a 10 in Salter's hand is fairly good for him.
I do think he's planning on folding, but
it's pained.
Wow,
It
yeah.
hurts him.
This is a very different kind of tank than we saw him tank earlier. You can see the...
Notice how Salter is looking back at his opponent every time he kind of looks away for a few seconds.
Yeah, wants to see if there's anything new, anything different.
Definitely tell he plays a lot of live poker and has he's looking for those reads for sure.
All the mannerisms.
Wow, I mean this again. If he finds the fold here, it is very impressive.
Can we get a gulp counter on Oddspeak?
Yeah, he does seem like he's done some gulping here, but I don't really know if that means anything. Could just be they're playing a long and extensive pot. Like this is not comfortable for anybody to
More on
be
the
in.
side of
Like,
folding now. I'm more on the side of folding.
Oh.
Love all the table talk.
let's recount the action again for those that missed it. So pre-flop went raised by Jack, call by Bjorn, flop went check check, turn went quick bet by Bjorn, and a call by Salter, and then the river quick 150. And Salter only has 340, so if he calls and he loses, he'll have under 10 big blinds. There's that old poker saying, which is think long, think wrong, and it rhymes, so it must be true. We'll see if Jack talks himself into this call now. I felt pretty sure he was going to fold, but now...
You wouldn't bluff with a pair, right?
Surprised that there's been no chat of clock yet, either.
This has been a long one.
This is the longest tank of our evening so far.
It is a critical spot for sure.
There's no pay jump ahead.
And key point of this hand is that flop went check check.
Yeah.
And then Salter turns an ace. Like it is a pretty sick spot for sure. I think a lot of lower level players just call river. They think they get unlucky. This is a spot where the edge can be gained by hero fold in some of these hands.
Pretty good said this is clearly angling. It's not angling, right? Like angling would be if you like pump faked a call in there, trying to solicit some sort of a reaction.
Definitely not gonna raise.
Yeah, we got.
Oh, okay, we figured that out.
Crazy if I bluff now.
As a player, this would have driven me crazy already. I don't know if I would not have had the patience to sit here through all this as a player. We can see the true pain. Okay.
Well, I'm shocked no one's called the clock.
Everyone's just too nice in Australia, I think. That's the thing. If this was LA, there would have been 10 calls of the clock already. The waitress would have called clock by now.
Would any of you guys in Twitch chat have called the clock by now?
Yeah, I wonder. Salter's from London. This might just be the last hand we ever get to see, guys. This might go on forever. We might be stuck in the vortex here.
No, he's not tanking for the pay
Like
jump.
you want me to fold, so that means I probably shouldn't.
Crazy how long this has gone on for. I understand the pain, but can the delay catch up? It could catch up. If this hand goes on for another 2.5 hours, we're in danger.
This is wild.
This might be the longest tank in Aussie Millions history, at least at a feature table.
Given the spot of the tournament that we're in, and it is for a fair amount of chips here, this is potentially a $50,000 to $100,000 decision that he's making here.
No doubt. Let's be. I don't know if it's quite 100,000 in equity. You know, being that it's only 5 starting stacks. You know, it's probably not that much, but it's definitely a high stakes decision.
And also the utility of his chips. If he calls and he's wrong here, he's down to a stack where he doesn't have fold equity.
Folds, nice.
Sorry, guys.
No worries.
All right,
Nice
fold.
fold. Hey, got it right. Took a little while, but got it right. Broke the think long, think wrong truism.
Can someone who's in the chat quicker look at the video on demand and actually, like, I'm curious to how long it was
Yeah, somebody-
after the bet, like how long the decision actually took.
Yeah.
I'm curious if someone can find that.
It has to be like 10 minutes, something like it.
I'd have
8 to 10
I
minutes.
did not queen.
This is a sick fold. This is a sick fold.
It's, yeah, it would have. Can I say it would have been a sicker fold if it was made about 5 minutes faster? But
that was a
yeah,
nice
still,
move.
Adds to the suspense of it, though.
yes, it was certainly suspenseful.
It lets us know how painful of a decision it was.
I definitely understood the pain. I think we all
20,000.
saw that there.
I guess it's safe to fold because you'll see it later anyway, right?
I want all the
Great
chips.
awareness by Jack
I
Salter
want
there,
all the
though.
chips.
Recognizing that his opponent is most likely
It was
underbluffing
a
in
cool
that
bet.
spot,
Sorry for taking so long.
and top pair was just no good.
Pass.
Folds. 20,000. Folds. 20,000.
All right, back to the action. John Mill says, I've crunched the numbers, and that fold took 4 years. So we're all 4 years older now. Wow.
Raise to 40,000. 40,000 fold.
It must feel good when I want to.
So looks like I feel like there was a raise and fold around, and Adam wins it with 10-3 suited. What up, GTH Poker? Enjoying the broadcast. Great to have all you North Americans staying up late. All you Europeans waking up, joining us. And then all of you in the Asia Pacific region hanging out. Your afternoon, early evening. This is a global event, as always. Great to have you guys with us.
Getting word that the river decision took 9 minutes.
Just under 9 minutes. Thanks, Ghost of M.
20,000.
So, in fact, in theory, he did have a pretty good bluff catcher there, having a spade, no reverse blockers, but you kind of throw all that out the window when your opponent leads the turn for less than half pot in that spot. Not a turn that you expect them to lead very often.
Folds.
you guys hear the story? Someone was telling me a story about a business game in Macau where a business gentleman tanked for an hour and a half on the river against Tom Dwan. You guys, is this myth?
I think it's. I've never heard that story.
So I heard it was
Sounds
like
like
a multi-million-dollar pot, and this businessman tanked for an hour and a half on the river, and like nobody called the clock.
Yeah, no one
like people
called.
stood up and like went to other games.
Wow.
He ordered dinner to the table, finished his meal.
Yeah, I heard it was an hour and a half tank, and then he just folded.
Wow. 6.5 minutes left here, and 23 players remaining.
And I would bet Tom Dwan did not blink once during that hour and a half.
What up, Jake? Happy with us. At the end of this level, which is only 7 minutes away, we're going to get our new featured table as we rotate them every level. One of the tables we haven't seen yet, with the slate of players that we have yet to see.
Michael definitely sees the opportunity. King 9 suited in the hijack.
Fold. Fold.
Here is our short stack. Salter. I'm kind of cheering for him. I don't know. I find his mannerisms very entertaining.
He has a cool table presence.
He
for
cracked
sure.
me up. I mean, he tanked for 6 minutes, and then he's like, "I guess I can't raise anymore."
That is a pretty
It definitely
hilarious
got me
thing to
laughing.
say. That's definitely a hilarious thing to say.
I'm kind of cheering for him to stick around, and in the way that you kind of want the villain to win in the superhero movie sometimes. There's a little bit of that going on.
I mean, the other thing he's really done is he tanked a lot to try to make pay jumps. So there's nothing wrong with that, you know what I mean?
For sure.
I would love to see him at the final table, mainly because he's one of the best players in the world, and I'm always a fan for some high-level poker.
Salter's playing 15 big blinds. Could be thinking about defending, or maybe as a hand to reshove. This is a spot I would definitely shove small pairs versus the hijack open. Even a hand like ace-10, sometimes you can shove it in. CB8, 4 and 4.
Just letting it go. Nice hand there for Adamo? Adamo? Or
Adamo.
Adamo. Okay.
Michael, right? Michael Adamo?
Yep.
What a beast.
Baron is on me or?
It's on me, I think.
Nice to see you, Nario 272.
On switching one?
Yeah, sure.
Okay.
Yeah.
To the yellow one.
Oh, 100, yeah. Cool, man.
Thank you very much.
Just check them or just...
Yeah. Yeah.
Is that right?
Good. Yep.
Yeah.
3,000, please.
Last few hands here at this table. We're going to get ourselves a new lineup, our fourth lineup of the day.
I like that. We familiarize ourselves with everyone left in the tournament, and then, you know, when we hit the final table, we'll probably have some information on everybody.
Yeah, we'll have seen every player by the time it reaches the final table, which is definitely
Right.
nice.
It's a good system.
Everyone that we'll see at that final table, there'll be a little bit of a backstory. You know, we saw him do this in earlier coverage. And in a lot of tournaments, we typically don't get that. We get that one featured table throughout.
Just another awesome thing they do here at Crown.
Folds.
And King 10 raising. Nobody else with much so far. Over to the blinds.
Ooh,
Pocket
this is
fours.
interesting.
I think this is a fold against the under the gun raiser. What do you guys?
It is the hijack though, and you know,
Yes.
Raise all in.
I would be all in versus Adamo here.
I would donut it in as well for sure. And oh my goodness, ace jack in the big blind's in a very tough spot. Like, can we see a raise and a shove?
Yeah,
that's
we
not.
got fold.
He folds.
300 exactly almost.
These pairs perform fairly well when you shove. A lot of the times when you do get called, you'll be flipping. And it allows your opponent to have these overcards that they'll be raising and then folding when you go all in.
302,000.
302,000.
Sweet fin jack.
Action back to Michael.
15 big blinds here. We're not considering the king 10 offsuit, are we?
I think this is too much. I mean, even if you expect your opponent to be shoving a lot of hands here.
Yeah, he even said it would be thin in this spot.
I think we call king queen,
Yep,
and I think we fold king jack and king 10.
I agree.
It's a spot where Adamo recognizes that he'll be opening, quite a bit from under the gun in this spot. And he knows that Salter recognizes that and will be shoving slightly few more hands, such as pocket fours here. So he does have to call a little wider than other players would, but king 10 offsuit, a little too wide.
It's like, hey, if I bust Salter, I get 5 more hands an hour. That could lead to some good spots.
There's also a chance that we're like very
Bro, I'll
close
tell
to
you
break.
what,
We
I
just
had
wanna
pockets.
wait one more hand. Gotta be only a couple minutes away here, if not there already. Maybe one more hand left in this level.
What a great tournament. What a cast of personalities we have here. Playing for 1.8 million. We're here with you the whole way to Final 7 tonight.
I had pockets.
Glad to see you guys are having a good time.
Pretty amazing. All these players guaranteed 61,500 Aussie dollars, playing for 1.85 million. Tonight we're just going down to 7. 23 remain. I would guess in the next level we get down near to the final 3 tables. And then it's a battle from there.
This will be our last hand.
Yep, this will be our last hand with this lineup before we switch to our new featured table.
20,000.
How many hours left? There's no limit on the hours. We're going to play until we have a final 7.
Last 3 flicks
I
today.
have a hunch we might see Mr. Matthew Wakeman here on this next lineup.
Sorry?
So Lee limps here with the 9-8 offsuit. And Adamo with the very powerful ace-queen suited, going to be good enough to raise.
And depending on how big he makes it here, Lee will have a decision on whether or not to continue here with his 9-8.
Yeah, I mean, if he makes it 65,000 or something, it's debatable. If he makes it 80, then I think we just fold.
Raise to 75,000, 75,000.
75. I lean fold. What do you think, Ricky? Think this is good enough to call? Getting 2-1?
Technically, the price is still good enough to call with 9-8 offsuit, but you are against a very tough opponent out of position. So, okay to pass on some of these marginal spots if you're Lee.
And indeed, he does pass. And just like that, we have concluded another level here in the main event. These players are going on break, but we are not, as we are going to